welcome to InCharge, where you'll get the news from the source. From those in charge in their organizations, leaders from different industries who are making an impact in the society today. I'm 𝐷𝐂𝐂𝐄𝐁 𝐎𝐿, your host. Today we have with us Comelec Chair George Garcia. Hello, Chair Garcia. Thank you so much for being with us today.
And thanks to you also, and good afternoon.
Good afternoon po. So the election is coming up really soon. What are the preparations that you've been doing po in Comelec?
People will have to understand that 2025 is what we call as the super election year, simply because we have 3 elections by next year, 2 elections by May 12, simultaneous, meaning the national and local elections, and the Bangsamoro parliamentary election. 5 months after, we are going to have our barangay and SK elections. We have to understand also that when it comes to the national and local elections and the Bangsamoro parliamentary election, it's an automated election. But however, when it comes to barangay and SK elections, it's manual. So because of the different systems that we are going to adopt, different preparations, and of course, every day of the commission is very hectic. We have to stick to our timelines so that we will not be delayed in our preparation.
Chair, what is your goal for this upcoming election?
Of course, credible, honest, credible, peaceful, and acceptable election to the Filipinos. We have to maintain that kind of integrity of the election so that the people will keep believing on our democracy, and they will keep on supporting the democratic processes that we have. More specifically, the spirit of what election should really be. And that's part of a democratic process that will sustain the democratic leadership that we have in our country.
Chair, taking on your position in the Comelec, no, it's hard. It's an uphill battle.
It's a very difficult position. I came from the private sector. I used to be an election lawyer, practitioner for the last 23 years, focusing mainly on election lawyering. And I did not really anticipate that the job of being the chairman of the commission is completely different from being a lawyer of the different candidates or different elective and appointive officials. Of course, you have to manage almost 7,000 people nationwide. You have to manage the election every now and then. At the same time, you have plebiscites, you have special elections, you have electoral exercises that are not necessarily regular in character. So again, it's not an easy job.
It's not an easy job indeed. And the discrediting attacks is already flowing right in. But sir, with the news articles that I've been reading, parang there are a lot of people who really vouch for you, and it really speaks a lot about your credibility. Can you give us like advice on like how you handle that? Like really establishing a career built on your credibility?
I made a sacrifice when I accepted the position of chairman of the commission. Before, I was the commissioner of Comelec, appointed by then President Rodrigo Duterte. And then afterwards, I was appointed by President BBM as the chairman of the Commission on Elections. There was a sudden shift from being in the private life to now in the public life. I did not really, again, anticipate that things like this, like the attacks, will be coming from certain individuals who are actually my friends, who are actually my former clients. And so I was really so amazed. But my advice really is to people who are in the government, they should not be onion-skinned. We are living in a glass cage. Everybody should be watching and will be watching on all our moves, all our actions. And therefore, they had been asking me, are you not going to file cases against these detractors? I told them, definitely not. Simply because if I will do that, then I will be moving into their trap. Simply because that is what perhaps they wanted to do to gain the limelight. And number 2, to gain or access certain valuable time of media entities. So I will not give that opportunity. I'll just perform my job. I'll just explain to our people that they should perform the job well so that at least we will be able to at least prove to them that they are wrong. But in the final analysis, if the truth is with you, no evils can be cast against you. I think that's the most important thing. So long as you're telling the truth, so long as your integrity is intact, and so long as you are standing to your goal as being a nation builder through the election, you're okay.
Sir, you know, you are making bold moves given your position right now. One of that is regulating yung social media campaigns.
Yes.
And that's a wide reach as well. It's been there, like it has been a social media election in the recent ones. Paano kaya natin to tatahakin? Yeah.
I made a proposal to the Commission and Bank. I made a maximum proposal of prohibiting the use of AI and deepfakes. But I know for a fact that you cannot really prohibit AI in the campaign. But the reason why I made a proposal to prohibit, so that there will be a massive discussion in the nation as to what is really AI, what can be regulated part of AI, and what should really be banned AI, like for example, deepfake. To me, deepfake is a complete no-no in election because that's misrepresentation. You should be honest enough to tell the people you are the ones talking. It's your face, it's your voice, not somebody else. If it's robot, if it is robot or artificial intelligence, then that's you are not being truthful to the electorate. And so again, the use of AI and deepfakes in Philippine election had not been that fully maximized. But this election, I had anticipated that candidates and political parties will be using AI not only for their own benefit, but likewise to attack opponents. I will not allow that. A level playing field, that should be the name of the game. And therefore, it's the Comelec's role to ensure that there will be equal opportunity for all. If we cannot do that, then we are a failure in our job.
Pero Chair, just to re-educate us, no? Di ba pagka yung mga commercials po sa TV, yung mga ads po ng mga tumatakbo, dumadaan din po yun sa approval ng Comelec?
Yes, ma'am. Itong problem po natin. And again, I want our people to understand. When it comes to the regular media, television, radio, and newspapers, that's highly regulated by the Commission because there is a law regulating this form of media. They have to submit to us the contracts. They will have to follow the number of minutes, 120 minutes for television, 90 minutes for radio, and there is a certain amount, percentage that should be deducted to the overall price per publications or for whatever minutes or hours that they will have to appear on television or radio. Sa social media po, wala.
Yes.
And that's the reality because we do not have social media law or regulation law in the Philippines. In the United States, they are attempting to regulate social media, but they are not so successful. In the Philippines, wala rin. Why? Because of the possibility that it may intrude into the constitutional guarantee of free speech and expression. And so, but the Comelec will try to regulate social media. We are promising that by next week, we are hoping to come up with the guidelines on how to regulate social media. And everybody or anybody who will be affected can go to the Supreme Court and question the action of Comelec. However, we have to make that bold move. I think the present commission will be defined by our action regardless of the consequences, so long as we are able to ensure that everybody will have an equal opportunity. Because at the end of the day, we will be judged as to whether the Comelec had made that bold decision or not.
Yes, and it will actually benefit whatever party. Diba? I mean, it could really be scary if you just allow social media to proliferate, diba? The free use of, you don't know, paano na.
Try to imagine, if we will say that a candidate will only have 2 social media accounts,
Right.
yun yung legal na social media accounts. Diba paano yung official?
verified.
Yung mga mayayaman may 10, 20 social media accounts. Tapos you will have 500 candidates in the entire country. Multiply mo yung 10, you will have 50 million social media. How can the Comelec monitor?
Yeah.
And that's the reason why we really have to tap the help of social media platforms such as X, such as Google, such as we will have to tap them because they have to help us police not only their ranks, but police whatever the Comelec will tell them to police for purposes of ensuring an honest and equal opportunity for all election.
And this conversation is really important right now because yung landscape talaga ng social media is a huge driving force in the election.
Yes, ma'am. But try to consider also another factor. During the barangay and SK election, we imposed the policy that when the candidate will file their candidacies, they are deemed considered candidates already. Meaning, they cannot roam around, they cannot shake hands with anybody, they cannot put posters or whatever because they are already considered candidates and therefore premature campaigning will set in. because the barangay and SK election is a manual election. But however, under the regime of an automated election that we are going to have by 2025, under the law and under the decision of the Supreme Court in the case of Peñera versus Comelec, once they file their candidacies by October 1 to 8, they are not yet considered candidates. According to the Supreme Court, they are considered candidates only on the first day of the campaign period, which is in this case 90 days before the election for national positions and 45 days for local position. What is the implication of that? Everybody can roam around after the filing of the candidacy. Everybody can, the posters can be seen on streets, on practically everything. They can do everything without any prohibition because they are not yet candidates. They did not even need to report to the Commission on Elections the expenses from October, November, December, January, up to February for national and up to March for local because they are not yet candidates. We do not want to be blamed. We do not want the people to say that this commission is an inutile commission because they are failing to prevent the candidates. But the reality is, there is a law and there is that Supreme Court decision.
Right. Sir, at the end of your term, anong legacy po yung gusto niyong maiwan as Comelec Chair?
Well, the people should be able to believe in the commission and in the integrity of the election. Again, our democracy will not survive if the election is not believed to be fair and honest and credible by the people. More than anything else, we must be able to explain to the people what is the importance of the election, what is their role in the election, more specifically the youth. And so we have to institutionalize everything. We have to be very transparent, and we have to be accountable, and we have to be inclusive. You see, an election without including everybody is no election at all. It should be inclusive regardless of their race, of their beliefs, regardless as to whether they are old or young, regardless as to whether they belong to the common people or to the members of the indigenous people. We have to include everyone. Because if we, well, my principle is, a vote not cast is a voice not heard. And therefore, we should never disenfranchise a single individual in our country.
Sir, how much alive would you say democracy is in the Philippines today?
Very much alive. We have a regular elections for the presidency and the vice presidency, regardless of their beliefs or somebody's belief. We have the election, and at the same time, people are able to voice their sentiments. People are able to cast their votes. Very important. You see, only in voting can we say that we are equal. Your vote, my vote, we only have one ballot. One Filipino, one ballot. That's very important, and therefore, to me, that is an indication of a democracy that is alive and kicking.
Thank you so much, Chair. Thank
very
you.
much, ma'am.